It's time for a minicamp preview edition of the Blitz. How much will Micah take part this week? Who are the shining stars of OTAs? And is there safety in numbers? The Blitz starts now.
Pops out to the right, breaks a tackle. They blitz it. Prescott throws it down the right side for Lamb. Caught it! Back to throw, rush, sacked by Parsons.
Belt-tie snap. Prescott with plenty of time. Lobs it in zone. Jake Ferguson.
It's good out here. Let's go, baby. Let's have a hell of a day. Keep showing up. Yeah, get that left one, not the right one. Get that left one. Get that left one, dog. Hey, where were you at? Where'd you go swim?
Leighton Vander Esch's boat. Something Roberts.
Here? Out here?
Ray Roberts Lake.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I see you right there. Hey. I see you right there. It's like twins. Not. This one, I still see us kind of working that one down. So maybe here, down there, start like at the 35, 38, going that way.
Work it in.
And work our way in. He's the mic, yep, push to him. Good. Under. Woo! Dirty. There you go, good. 11. Red zone. One guy's live, red zone. You'll be in the gun. Come on. Run! Stay up! There you go, good. Here we go, real quick. Let's go, line, here we go. Defense, outstanding job, right? You guys had some plays out there, right? You're gonna break it up, I love it, okay? Really good day. Now, can we come out here again and do it tomorrow, okay? I bet we can. I know we can, okay? Family.
Well, if that doesn't get you fired up for minicamp week, I don't know what will. Welcome to another edition of The Blitz. Bill Jones along with Nicole Hutchison here inside the Globe Life Studios at the Star in Frisco. We're going to stay up. We're going to keep the energy up just like Coach Schottenheimer does.
Heck yeah, you got me ready to go run out there and run through a wall for Brian Schottenheimer. I mean, he's bringing some excellent energy, man. You got guys doing TikTok dances, CeeDee Lamb over there celebrating. You love to see it, Bill.
And how many one-handed catches can CD make in one practice? All right, we got much to get to in this edition of the Blitz, but we're going to talk right off the top about that energy level. And how about we hear from Stephen Jones to start things off about what Coach Schottenheimer is like at practice.
You know, the biggest thing of all is, between him and his staff, it's authentic. I mean, you see the energy, it's natural. It's rubbing off on the players. You see Dak out there. I saw him getting involved and having a lot of fun with it. But, that's the thing about this game. I mean, people started playing this game because they loved it. And you want to make it fun. And, you want the energy levels high. And I think Coach Schottenheimer's getting that done. And, getting it done in a way that the players embrace it and want to be a part of it.
That's what Micah Parsons has been missing throughout OTAs. Now it's mandatory minicamp week. Micah has vowed that he will be here. It'll be interesting to see how much he is involved out there. But are you surprised that nothing's happened yet on the contract situation?
Not at all. I mean, you look back at last year, they waited until, September of 2024 to get Dak's deal done. You had in August CeeDee Lamb's deal done in 2024. Of course, the year before that, Zach Martin in August of 2023. So there's no surprise at all. The biggest thing for me is that as long as Micah's still doing what he needs to do, which is something that Brian Schottenheimer mentioned that he has been doing, training on his own and making sure he's getting the work. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. He came on Twitter actually earlier this week and told, the media that he plans to be there. He said that, he hasn't missed a minicamp in 4 years, and he has a team, he has teammates, he has a playbook that he knows he needs to start working on, and he doesn't plan to miss out on that.
All right, minicamp starts on Tuesday, runs through Thursday. We're just getting started on this edition of The Blitz. Coming up later, we'll go inside Deone Clark's fresh start here with Dallas in his 4th year here. And who are the shining stars throughout OTAs? Nicole breaks that down when the Blitz continues in a moment.
The Dallas Cowboys Blitz, presented by Blockchain.com, is brought to you by AT&T, an official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. This segment is brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
One of the highlights of OTAs this year, the legends showed up a week ago Friday, including the playmaker Michael Irvin, other Hall of Famers like Randy White and Bob Lilly, Tony Dorsett, you see right there, and others like Everson Walls in attendance. There's Everson, and what a great day. They got to spend the day here at the Star in Frisco, not only team meetings, but out on the practice field as well. And by the way, Michael Irvin himself says after watching this team for one day during OTAs, they're going to shock the world this year. Welcome back to the Blitz. Bill Jones now with Nicole Hutchison here, and one of the reasons I think Michael is excited about this team is what he saw out on that practice field. Some shining stars during OTAs, and you're going to break down some of them, starting with a guy who was once upon a time a first-round draft pick out of Oklahoma, Kenneth Murray at linebacker.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a guy that since he stepped foot here, he told me that, you know, the Cowboys are going to get a dog, and they're also going to get a dude in the middle of this defense. He said that he thrives best when he is in the middle of this defense. Now, he's taken some reps with the ones at both Mike and the Will position, but again, it's to take with a grain of salt because Brian Schottenheimer did mention that, you know, they're kind of moving guys around a lot this offseason and through OTA, so it'll be a lot of fun to see who ends up winning that Mike position. But you talk about a guy that, you know, hearing Shotty talk about him, he said that he remembers from his 50th birthday that they get ready to play LA, and he said that he was so concerned about a guy like Kenneth Murray because of his athleticism, the way he plays with power. He's an excellent tackler. He also said that he diagnoses plays very well as well. That's something that we have been able to see through OTAs. He said he's the same guy that they last saw in LA. So that's going to be a lot of fun to watch, that linebacker room.
He was wearing number 9 with the Chargers, wears number 59 here. How about in the running back room, Miles Sanders, a guy who has done some things in this league.
I'm excited about Miles. Let me tell you something, because, you know, Shotty had also thought really highly of him as well. He said that he is a home run hitter. He can beat you running the football. He can also beat you as a weapon in the passing game as well. He's caught a couple of screen passes from Dak Prescott through OTA so far and turned those into some really big gains. Now, he is a guy that's got some speed, considering he has played 6 years in the NFL. You'd think that there'd be some tread lost on those tires, but there's not at all with him. But he's a guy that also can make you miss in space. I'd love to see, you know, the packages that they could put together with Javonte Williams, maybe some 22 personnel. I don't know. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch as well with that running back competition, Bill.
All right. I had a chance to talk with Everson Walls about the next guy on your list. It's the cornerback Kyle Youmans. And Everson said after watching him on the practice field, he was like, who's that guy? Well, he's a former first-round draft pick, and he's showing some things here.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, Shotty, love to hear Shotty talk about these guys because he lights up all the time. But he said that, you know, sometimes it's just a fit. You know, some guys fit for certain schemes, and some guys fit better in certain different schemes. And so in Buffalo, they were a zone-heavy scheme. Of course, Matt Eberflus is looking to play a lot of man, and that's where he thrived in Florida. So love to hear also the fact that they're keeping track of these guys' top speed. He said that amongst all the defensive skill guys, he's hit the top speed consistently all through OTA. So I'm excited about it, Kyle Youmans. I mean, that cornerback room right now, you don't really necessarily know what you have. You have Deron Bland also kind of taking some reps in the slot. You don't really know who your outside corners are solidified yet, so I'm excited about Kyle as well, Bill.
All right, Kyle Youmans, the son of a former Cowboy, Abram Elam. All right, we continue on the Blitz here in just a moment. Let's take a trip to the linebacker room. What's up with Deone Clark this offseason?
This segment was brought to you by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Reliant, the official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
This week in Cowboys history, it was 65 years ago that the franchise announced plans for their very first training camp. It wasn't Texas or California, but a tiny town in Oregon called Forest Grove. Practice took place on the campus of Pacific University. The Washington News-Times covered the big event in a city that head coach Tom Landry liked because it had only one bar and one movie theater.
Not for him, but for the players. All right, we continue on the Blitz as Kyle Youmans now joins us. We're talking about one guy in that linebacker room who has done some good things in his career with the Cowboys, and that would be Deone Clark.
Yeah, he's been one of the forgotten pieces for this Cowboys defense over the last few years. But if you remember back to 2023, he played over 840 snaps at linebacker, and he's going to have to try and find that production again here in his contract year, final year of his rookie deal. But he also has a fresh start with this coaching staff in Dallas.
After logging just over 160 defensive snaps in 2024, it could be easy for linebacker Deone Clark to lose confidence and lose sight of his long-term goals. Instead, this offseason has served as a reset for the fourth-year man out of LSU, who is having fun playing football again thanks to a renewed focus.
Just be me. Leave last year behind. Last year was a rough year. You have those. You have rough years, but you just got to keep pressing. That's part of being a pro. You got to find a way to stay consistent with it. So that's my thing. Just be consistent. Come here each day. Be intentional. Do what I'm supposed to do, and be the person that I know that I can be.
One of the leading factors in Clark's newfound confidence is the new coaching staff and new scheme on the defensive side of the ball, allowing for linebackers to play free and to read and react.
It's fun. It's fun just being the coaches being there with us, coaches showing that they care about us, every step of the way. Obviously it's a new scheme, so we learn it. They being patient with us, but with them being patient, at the same time, we got to do our part outside the facility.
Clark has put in the work, catching the eye of head coach Brian Schottenheimer.
The way he's diagnosing things looks quicker to me than maybe in the past, a little bit more command of it. The connection that he has with Flus, Coach Borgonzi, I think that's important. He wants to do things the right way. That I think that relationship that he's developed with Dave Borgonzi is incredible.
It's a fresh start. I don't got to worry about what happened last year. That's in the past. You got coaches here that care about you, that want to see you succeed, and our success is their success. So it's a partnership. We're working hand in hand.
So far, he's aced the offseason test, and he's taken advantage of his opportunities by being in the right place at the right time in practice, earning the trust of his peers and coaches in a crowded linebackers room.
Again, that's what this time of year is about as well. It's again, like we've said, what are we doing to connect the coaches to the players to the staff, and I think that Dave's done a really good job of capturing not just Deone, but really that entire linebacker room, because there's a ton of new faces in there.
Even with the connection that Deone Clark has with this coaching staff, his salary cap hit in 2025 is slated to be $3.5 million. The Cowboys could actually save some room on the cap by cutting Deone Clark in the middle of training camp. So in order for him to find his way onto this roster, it can't just be special teams now for his fourth year in the NFL. He's going to have to rotate in at linebacker with Kenneth Murray, with Jack Sanborn, and some of those other linebackers on the roster. But we've seen it before. The athletic ability is there from Deone Clark. Can he find a way to put that all together and put together an incredible year? Probably going to have to be his best training camp in order to make this Dallas Cowboys team.
A contract year for him, but the training camp is as big as it's ever been for Deone Clark. Kyle Youmans, we appreciate it. And Nicole will rejoin us here in just a moment. We'll take a trip to the safety room. And how about the numbers in that room?
This segment was brought to you by Reliant, the official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
I can play any spot. So it's, just knowing, learning every single spot, and whenever your number's called, you have to be ready, and that's what I take into account. Whenever my number's called, I got to be ready to go in at corner, nickel, safety. So, I just really take that with my game for real, so.
Another player going into his 4th year in this league, Juan Thomas. Welcome back to the Blitz. Bill Jones and Nicole Hutchison. We're talking that safety room, and right off the top, how about we show you what that depth chart looks like in that safety room, because you got some returners, both returning starters, in Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson at the top of the list. Look down that right side with Juan Thomas and Marquise Bell, both going into their 4th year. Israel Mukuamu as well has years of service already, and you got some undrafted guys as well. But we talk about the 2 starters, Hooker and Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, Malik Hooker's coming off one of his best seasons, one of his complete seasons as a pro. 2024, obviously a career high 81 total tackles, 5 PBUs, 2 interceptions, allowed just 19 receptions in cover, and added a pressure as a blitzer. And then you look on the other side, Donovan Wilson, when he was used properly and to his strengths, he thrived. I mean, 82 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, an interception, 13 total pressures. So, I mean, that safety room, when you look at that depth too, you have quality depth. But these 2 guys surely have that starting safety spot shored up, and I think that you're getting consistency with both of those guys as far as their production, but just what they can bring as veteran leadership as well.
You know, and both those guys stayed healthy throughout the year last year. Both made 17 starts, but you look at the depth that you're alluding to there, and in particular, guys like Juan Thomas, like Marquise Bell, who got playing time a couple of years ago as a linebacker in Dan Quinn's defense. Cowboys have to feel good about the depth here.
Absolutely. I mean, and Juan talking about that soundbite that we heard earlier, is that he's learning all the positions to make himself more valuable. That's something that Marquise Bell has kind of an upper hand on him. You already mentioned, Bill, him taking on that linebacker position a couple of years ago, and now kind of being that hybrid guy. But you've got to give Marquise Bell an opportunity. Well, when he's healthy, of course. He missed 8 games last year after Houston. 7. But I mean, 3-year extension, $12 million. You gotta see what he's got as far as the safety position. But again, you have Juan Thomas, who is looking for to make some opportunities there for him, and he also made some splash plays on special teams. Of course, you know how you get on the field. You do well on special teams. You see more opportunities defensively and offensively, of course, but defensively in this perspective.
Well, in terms of Juan Thomas, it was what Fossil always talked about with Juan. Nick Sorensen, the special teams coach, is finding out about Juan Thomas. He can be a special teams demon. All right, we wrap up the Blitz in just a moment, and you can't miss this because we've got Micah at Media Day. Yes, when we come back here on the Blitz.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Dallas Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today. To watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. The Dallas Cowboys Blitz, presented by Blockchain.com, was brought to you by AT&T, an official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys, and by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com.
What's up, y'all? Nicole Hutchison here with Micah Parsons for the 40-second dash. Gonna test your 40 in a whole new way. Are you ready for this?
Yep.
All right, let's get it. All right, let's start my timer. And in 3, 2, 1. What's one thing fans would be surprised to know about you?
I'm really good at pickleball.
Okay, you got 24 hours, no obligations. What you doing?
Oh, man, I'm gaming all night.
Gaming all night?
Yeah.
Love it. Rank these in order: tacos, barbecue, or wings?
Oh, wings, tacos, barbecue.
Okay, if you could swap lives with any teammate for a day, who you picking?
CD Lamb. Trayvon Diggs.
Okay, if you had your own signature sneaker, what would it be called?
Ooh, Lion.
Ooh, okay. If this team had a reality show, what are you naming it?
Living with the Cowboys.
Okay, I like that. If you could add one non-football skill to your game, what would it be?
Ooh, non-football? Model.
That's dope. I've heard singing, haven't heard model yet, but your time is up. Got one last question. What can Cowboys Nation expect out of number 11 in 2025?
Man, y'all expect me to be the best player in the world.
All right, it wasn't just 47. We got some overtime there with Micah.
Absolutely. I mean, I had to ask him, what can Cowboys Nation expect out of you? And he said, best player in the world. I don't know. That's a hard answer to beat, Bill.
Okay, world's greatest, like Muhammad Ali. Okay, but will we see Micah on the practice field this week? The mandatory minicamp starts on Tuesday. There you see the schedule. Coach Schottenheimer's first press conference on Tuesday at 11:45 in practice. Of course, it's not open to the public, but it is open to the media, and so you'll see your reports right here. And then it wraps up with a Schottenheimer press conference on Thursday at 1:30. But to wrap things up, you've been out here OTAs. Who's one guy that stood out to you? Give me one guy.
I'm going Tyler Guyton. He's a guy that I instantly noticed when I went to go see practice, obviously all offseason, and I said, you leaned up, man. He said he's changed his diet, eating a lot of salmon, of course, and really focusing on how much better he needs to be this year. So Tyler Guyton's my guy.
All right, for Nicole Hutchison and Kyle Youmans, I'm Bill Jones. We'll see you next week.